the things that affect climate. So the first is the rain shadow effect, right? So as the air starts to move towards in this picture, the air is moving from the left to the right, and as the air starts to move up the mountain and it gets colder, it's going to drop all of its moisture, and then as it makes it up and over, it has no moisture left. So you end up with really wet conditions on the leeward side of the mountain and very dry and arid conditions on the wayward side of the mountain. This one is looking at elevation, right? So as you go up in elevation, you're also getting cooler and less moisture available. And so the plant types obviously have to change to things that are more drought tolerant as we get up higher in the mountains. This one is looking at latitude. So obviously around the equator, we are much warmer than we are at the poles. And this has to do with direct versus indirect sunlight, right? So at the equator, it's getting direct sunlight. At the poles, we're getting the sunlight is spread out over a larger area, and so it's cooler. This one is looking at precipitation. This has to do with Hadley cells. I'm not sure if they talked about them in lab, but the idea is that you get really warm, moist air coming from this picture, but here, right, we got a lot of moisture, or a lot of warmth. So you get warm, moist air that goes up, but as it goes up in the atmosphere, it begins to cool, and so you lose the moisture, and then when it comes back down at 30 degrees north or 30 degrees south-ish, that's about an estimate, it's cool and dry. So you get most of your rain around the equator, and then you get these dry spots 30 degrees north and 30 degrees south on the equator, or from the equator. And that's, yeah, so that's what affects climate.